Welcome back to BLCVikings.com as we continue to close out the 2015 spring sports schedule here on the campus. We're going to talk about track and field, the outdoor version, with one of the head coaches, the men's head coach, Dave Ring, at this time. And Coach, I know that because of the way things are structured, you actually have a chance while you're the men's coach, and your wife Nancy is the women's coach. You end up working with athletes from both genders to spend time kind of more in your areas of expertise, shall we say, whether it's distances or throws or some of the sprints and stuff like that. So you feel pretty comfortable talking about both men's and women's team, right?
Absolutely. I don't even think the athletes know who the men or women head coach is because it's just all melded together.
I have confidence in you if that means anything to you.
That helps.
That's good. We'll start from that. All right. Well, let's talk about the, first of all, the men's team. Really continue to just springboard based off the success that you had on the indoor season. And obviously we're going to talk about a few key athletes here in a little bit, but just as the team overall, just continuing to see the gradual improvement, those times dropping. Obviously, again, still somewhat of a newer program, so there's usually a lot of school records that are set and stuff like that. But nonetheless, continuous depth and improvement in the program, kind of right where you want to be, or actually maybe even a little further ahead than you would have expected after such a young start a couple years ago.
Some people feel that way. I still think we have a lot of work to do and we want to keep pushing forward. But yeah, there's a lot of school records getting broken. I think for men and women together, we're averaging about 15 a meet that we're getting broken, 15 school records. And so that's kind of what we want to do. It shows we're moving in the right direction, definitely.
All right. For you, do you find that for a lot of the athletes, obviously we do have a lot of crossover between the outdoor and the indoor season here. In this day and age, for you to have a really good outdoor season, is it almost a must to be participating in the indoor level? Or for some of the events, there's just so much disparity in the nature, the radiuses, the turn, stuff like that, that you don't necessarily have to do the indoor to be successful in outdoor?
No, if you want to get to the level that you want to get to, you have to do indoor first. Indoor, we tell some people if they don't really like indoor, it prepares them at least for outdoor. Because it takes 12 to 14 weeks to get a distance runner in shape to where they can compete at the highest level. Our outdoor season is only 7 weeks long. So before conference. So really you have to do indoor to do outdoor. And it helps. Track is such a technical sport. In every event, there's so much you can learn. So doing indoor will really help you with outdoor.
Okay. Well, obviously some of the athletes seem to have learned a lot as the couple of years have gone on here. Let's start off things with the guy, Owen Richardson. Here's a guy who not only wins the cross-country men's meet this year for the conference, but then obviously has individual championships and ends up being the runner or the athlete of the meet at both the indoor and outdoor. That's fairly unheard of or fairly common?
That's not that common. He's quite an athlete. He's really, and I don't think he's reached his full potential yet. I think there's a lot more in him. But yeah, that's really not that common. He's a very gifted man. The Lord's blessed him greatly. He's been fun to work with.
For him, what makes him such a good athlete? Because not only is it the physical aspect, but obviously in terms of mental preparation, mental growth, he must be really starting to excel in that realm.
Definitely.
As well.
Last year, he was really upset last year that he lost the steeplechase for outdoor because he had a chance and he should have won it. And he's learned to become a better racer, and he's just doing things now that he never did before mentally in a race too. Besides, he's a really hard worker. But yeah, he's learning how to race better than he's ever done before.
And do other athletes, is it easy to translate, look at what Owen's done in his mental preparation? Is that an easy translation as to other athletes, or is that maybe even a little more difficult than the physical stuff that needs to happen?
That's more difficult. It's almost on an individual basis. So you could see what he did, and yet still you have to do it your own self inside your own mind. So it doesn't translate as well as the physical part would.
All right. Other for the guys team, other individuals that had some great seasons. Obviously, Nick Bruss had a tremendous year for you. Josh Jablon with some of his throws and stuff up there. Guys that you almost can go into that conference meet knowing you're going to get points out of these guys.
Absolutely. We tell them. I go through the heat sheets ahead of time, and I tell them I expect points out of them because they're rated in such a way that they should get points. But Josh and Nick are definitely too. And Nick wasn't rated #1 coming in the triple jump, but he had a half a meter PR at that meet. So yeah, there's some good things happening there.
Others on the other side of the gender for the women, Kari Marzinski is a name that seems to come off the stat sheet right away as far as her impact and the success that she's continued to have for you.
Yeah, we were really concerned when Danny said she was going to study abroad, her sister, and we wouldn't have her for track this year. And then Kari came out and broke all her sister's records except for javelin. So Kari really stepped in and did some great things for us this year.
Other athletes that you'd care to, it's hard at times within the team realm of to single anybody out, but as I look at some of the sheets, Lindsey Stewart, some of the field events really in there, you have Annalieski, who's done a lot of great things for you, and certainly the Sauer sisters and what they were able to do with some of the distances. The team aspect, maybe even a little more evident with the women as far as the scoring and who's providing those points and the guys. And the guys had a great season as well, but the women seem to be a little broader as far as the points that the points that people are earning for the women's team.
Absolutely, and well, the people you mentioned, the Sauer sisters, both great distance runners. Put Kirsten Leigh in there also. Lauren came out for outdoor. Lauren Farquhar, she did well. Lindsay was a great leader for the team, not just with her points and her distances, but also with her attitude. And yeah, there's just all of them that you named are just great kids to work with. We got a compliment at the lacrosse meet that we're just at from a girl at Scholastica. I've been cheering for her and our team. You know, we're nice to other teams. We cheer for them, and she said she wishes she could be on our team. I go, why are you saying that? And she said, because you're girls and guys, especially your girls, but it's your guys too. You're more of a team than I've ever seen on a track team. And she said, I really envy that. So that was coming from a person that was on the conference championship team. So our team's really done some good things. They've really pulled together as individuals and become a team. It's fun to see.
That's a pretty nice compliment to hear, because that speaks to the broader aspect of what we're trying to achieve here.
Right.
And you have an off season coming up. You don't get much of an off season because you go right from the cross country. Big plans for you in the summer, or just a little R&R?
Going to the Pacific Northwest for the first time.
Good for you.
Yeah, should be fun.
Enjoy Mount Rainier and things like that.
We will.
Well-deserved off-season for this guy, part of the Ring tandem here. Dave Ring, the head men's outdoor and indoor track and field coach, along with his wife Nancy, summarizing the track and field season here at Bethany. Again, Don Westfall, thank you for watching this edition of the Bethany Sports Beat.